Hey guys, today we're here hanging out at my reloading bench, and we're going to talk about some range brass, or what most people would call range brass. I actually didn't pick this up from the range. A couple of places in the woods we like to go shoot every now and then, especially since all the ranges are currently closed. Anyway, we came across a couple areas, spent quite a bit of time just picking up brass. As you can see, most of the stuff is pretty filthy. Some of it's going to be throwaway brass. I haven't completely gone through it yet. Something I am going to do, there's some silver brass casings in here that originally I thought they might be nickel coated brass, and when I got them home, started looking at them closer, appears like they're steel casings. And anyway, we don't reload those. They're more of a pain in the ass than they're worth, and they can actually cause some damage to your firearms. So we're going to go through those, pick them out. There's nothing wrong with reloading nickel coated brass like this one. I happen to know this one's nickel coated because I bought it. I'm the original owner of it, bought it brand new from the factory. But anyways, we're going to go through this. I'll show you a little bit what I do. For those of you that are unsure if it's nickel coated or steel cased, if you don't know, brass is not magnetic. Got a little magnet here, nothing. Steel case, toss that one. Here's a nickel coated brass, same thing, non-magnetic. Anyways, like this one, all that rust, you can assume it's steel, but if you're still guessing, throw a magnet on it, toss it. So anyways, one of the first processes, some of this stuff is pretty filthy, even packed full of dirt, like this one here. Take a pick and get all that dirt out of there. That can be kind of tedious, but if you're already into reloading and or if you're not into it but you've been looking around, you've probably been looking at some prices and know that trying to save all your brass that you can is well worth the time. And there's some of this, like that one I'm not even going to clean. It's dented up enough. I think you can see that on camera that I'm trying to resize that. I'll just toss it. So this is just a little pick. I'm not actually sure where I got this or if I just found it, but it works good for this. So toss that aside, move on to the next one. So as you can see, it can be rather time consuming, but it can be worth the effort if you're into reloading. So we're going to skip forward. Imagine we have this all done, and I'll show you guys the next step that I use. And so down here I got a bucket with some warm water. I don't fill the bucket. I just put enough to where it's going to cover the brass. You can drop that in there. And then, as you do, just a little splash of Dawn dish soap. Then there's usually another product I've used in the past for this that I really like, but wasn't able to find that today. As most of you know, with what's going on in the world right now, it can be hard to find anything that's related to a cleaning product. But what they did have in stock, and I've heard from some other people that they use it and have had pretty good luck with it, is Barkeeper's Friend. I opted for the liquid version. They also make a powdered version. I kind of figured the liquid version would dissolve and mix into the water a little easier and quicker than the powdered version. But we'll get that off there. Put a splash of that in. And then I got handles with buckets. You can take them, give them a little agitation. And as dirty as this stuff is, I'll probably let it sit overnight, and we'll come back to you and show you the next steps. Alright, so we did end up leaving this brass in overnight. At this point, what we want to do, ooh, that water is nasty, that stuff was dirty. At this point, I'm going to dump them in the sink. And we want to take some time to rinse them really well. So some of that, those casings I expected were nickel coated brass when we started. They're actually aluminum casings. So we're going to go ahead and pull those out and toss those. Disconnect them before because they were so dirty. See, aluminum casings. Sometimes you get casings stuck inside of the other one. Separate them out. Make sure you get everything rinsed through as well. Looks like that solution with Dawn and Barkeeper's Friend worked pretty well. Got all the soapy solution off of them. you have them rinsed really well, we need to get them dry. Now, if you have the time and want to, you can just lay them out on a towel and let them air dry. We're going to speed that up a little bit. An old baking sheet here, I covered with aluminum foil. Start grabbing the try to shake some of the excess water off. Spread them out on this tray. Then we're going to throw them in the oven. You don't want your oven set too high. The lowest mine will go is 170. So I'm going to keep it there. And then we're going to probably leave it in the oven for about a couple hours at 170. There's that. Toss this in the oven. Alright guys, back down here in the reloading room, I let that brass sit in the oven for about 2 hours. Seemed to do the trick. You guys might have to adjust your time, depending on your particular oven and whatnot. But 2 hours seemed to do it for me. Now we got the tedious job of just sorting this brass out. Now some of it's still pretty tarnished. We'll get ready to go in the tumbler. I'm gonna sort it out, and I have a bucket down here. I toss calibers I don't own or shoot in this bucket, save for later when I'm out picking up brass. I pick up all of it. If it's something I don't own, I figure either someone I know could use it, or someday I might eventually own a gun that shoots that cartridge. So we're going to sort it out between stuff I own, stuff I don't own, and then since I have my press and everything else already set up to do 5.56, I'm going to take the 5.56 cartridges and go straight in the tumbler with them. And I tumble all my brass twice. The first time I tumble it in walnut. It's a little coarser. I don't put any polish in at this point in time. I know some people insist on wet tumbling. This seems to work just fine for me. So I'll get some walnut media in there and go to town sorting. Some 5.56 there. Stuff I don't own. box here to put some stuff in. Okay, guys. So I got all my brass sorted, and during that process, there was still a few that I found that just needed thrown away. But that's part of the process of inspecting all your brass, make sure it's good and still reloadable, not going to screw up your expensive dies. Anyways, as you can see, some of this brass is still pretty tarnished. We'll see how it looks after we tumble it. So, like I said, I tumbled the first time in walnut media. We'll get the lid on this. Usually brass I shoot. I usually pick up right away, so it's other than the just carbon from firing it, usually fairly clean stuff. So I typically only run that for 2 to 3 hours. It seems like 2 hours gets it pretty good. Running into that third hour, not a whole lot of extra benefit there. But this stuff being as dirty as it was, and being stuff I just picked up in the woods, I might be running this for upwards of 4 hours. I'll probably check it a couple times during the process, see what it's looking like, and then so we'll get this running, and I'll post a follow-up video, let you guys know how it turned out, and we'll continue prepping this brass for reloading. All right.